A photograph is not what you see. It is what you want to see. Photographers will argue all day about photographs. Some people think it's all about the technical. Was this the actual color and vibrancy that was on location? Does that camera have the depth that we want and the contrast? Did you frame it correctly? It's not about any of those things. It's not. I do a lot of photography here at my studio, Monique of Silver Paw Studio, that is pet and people photography, but I do a fair amount of wildlife and nature photography. I'm right near Rocky Mountain National Park. And I want to tell you that your photograph is not what you see, it is how you want to see it in any of these circumstances. It's not about the gear, it's not about the settings, it's not about dynamic range, it's not about any of that. It is about what you want to see. Actually, I'm going to go a level deeper. And it's not just a photograph is what you want to see, it is what you want to feel. Let me give you an example. When I go up to Rocky Mountain National Park and I'm standing at the top of the world and I'm taking in this scene. It might have elk, it might have mountains, it might have puffy blue sky and puffy clouds. What I want to see when I take that picture and I'm looking at it later is, I want to remember how that 11,000 foot elevation just took my breath away, that the scene took my breath away, that there was a breeze, it was cold, that I could just smell the tundra, that I could see the storm rolling in from across the way, that I'd finally made it to this amazing place. So when I'm looking back at this picture of this scene, I want to have all of my senses activated, and I want to feel that space again. I want to see it how I remember it. How does this relate to our businesses? So Carmi, this is the final image, but this is not what it looked like. In this image, the cat was wearing a leash because there was a drop-off. There was cars on a road in the background. There was a house. I took all that out. Does it even matter that any of that stuff was in there? No. So when you're talking about pure photography, I want it to be SOOC, straight out of camera. That can't always happen. And that's not what we want. If I just wanted a record shot that I was, maybe if you're a journalist, you can't do anything to it. Fine, I get that. But most of the rest of us can do what we want to these photos to really make it what we see, what we want to see, what we want to feel. Carmi is now gone. This has been many years ago. And this client treasures this photo. It takes her back to this house, this moment, that amazing cat, this whole experience. It's spring with the flowers, like you could feel the Christmas in the Colorado air. What is this photo making us feel, making our clients feel? Here's another example. We went out to this river and just had a great time. So yes, we do have all these gorgeous dogs standing on this log, but spoiler alert, that's two pictures put together. The golden retriever was looking a little off to the side in one picture, so I put her in here on this log. Does anyone remember that? No. This is how we want to remember these dogs. Leashes gone, stacked up just like that, just like they'd always be. These dogs had an amazing time at the river, swimming, splashing, chasing the tennis balls. So when I see this, I am instantly taken back to that spring, early summer day, that Colorado day at this iconic river here. And these dogs were having a blast. Frank threw the tennis ball many times into the river. These dogs were just having the time of their life. We want to remember these dogs as like having so much fun. Little Charlie in the middle, one-eyed Charlie, and he's over here in the middle of the river, just like the bigger dogs, just having such a fun time, living his best life. This is the picture that we want to see. Our eyes show us this ginormous view. If you were standing in the spot I was standing in, you would see the river and the shoreline and the tree and the hillside. You would see all of that. That's what you're seeing. But when you zoom in on little Charlie having the time of his life in the river, that's what we want to remember. That's what we want to feel with everything. Photographs are about what we want to see and what we want to feel. How about these pictures right here in the studio? That client came to me and said, my dog is getting older and I would like some pictures of myself with my dog. That's all they knew. That's all they knew to ask. And in the end, we were able to photograph their relationship, how much they love each other, how close they are. This is not just a well-exposed, well-framed photograph on a pretty print in a cool frame. That's technically what it is physically, but what is it really? When this client looks at this, what do they want to see? They want to see how in love they are with their dog and how much their dog loves them. They want to come back to this moment at this age of this amazing experience that we've created for them. In my studio at Silver Paw Studio, my goal is for everyone to have the best day ever. That dog is going to get a chance to snuggle and play and get treats and all the things that dogs love. And bonus, we're going to get some photos that they can come back to this moment in time with their dog and remember it now and forever and just come right back to that moment. How did the dog's hair feel? How did their fur, how soft it was and how much it sparkled in the light? You know, dog has such a cool coat and the colors are just pretty, and that's how they remember their dog. We want to come back to maybe the smell of the peanut butter that we were giving the dog as a treat. Maybe that's his favorite treat is peanut butter. And we want to just trigger all of our senses. That is what photography is about. It is not the dynamic range of your camera. And I will fight you on this. Those subreddit people, the SOOC people, that has to be right out of camera people. No. If you want a record shot, fine. If you're a journalist, yes. But I would also submit that journalists are looking for the feeling. That is what they're all about. And that photo has to convey that. And we don't push ourselves enough for that. The tagline for my studio is, I want to tell all of your tales with tales. So I love that because it's telling the story of your pets in your family, your fur babies. We want to celebrate them, right? A story that maybe your friends and family have heard forever, but I want to hear all those stories. Now, this might look like a standard portrait of a cat, right? But to the owner, this is that cat at one moment in time. This kitten was only 6 months old and very curious and very adventuresome. And that was how that kitty was at that moment. And when we go back in time and think about this, we had little squeezy treats for this kitty that she just loved. What the dynamic was with their house full of other kitties, how curious she was, how soft her fur was, how she interacted with us. There is so much more in this photo. When people are trying to figure out what photos to hang in their home, I say, I want something that's going to make you smile every time you look at it or make you feel something. What is it about that animal, that pet, that person in your life, whoever we're photographing, it could be people. How do you feel towards them? How do you feel towards Scout here? Oh my gosh, right? Yes, we have a beautiful photo of Scout, but we want to make this photo 3D, and it's so hard to do. but it's so rewarding for everybody that's viewing this photo and taken to that moment. So something I really want you to think about in your photography, whether you're a pet and people photographer like me and all of the pet photographers that I teach, or any other kind of photographer, landscape, street, next time you take a picture, ask yourself why you took that picture. Why? What did it make you feel? What were all of the senses around you? Does your photo portray that? And you know, for Pro Pet Photog, I have a whole membership that's helping you with your technical aspects and your sellability of your photos. In the Pro Pet Photog, there's a photo review membership. So if you're trying to make this a business, there are the technical aspects you do need to keep in mind. And I know like kind of what clients are looking for when they go to buy a photo. So there's that. I understand that for sure, but I don't want you to lose your spark for why you started photography, why the world needs photography, why they need your photography, your vision. How do you want that to be seen, right? So consider that, especially when you think your technical aspects aren't good enough. I bet everything else is. I bet your whole soul goes into that photograph, your excitement in it, how you saw that in the world, how you wanted to see it. Editing is fine. If you have something distracting in the background that takes away from that, do it, right? It's subjective. Art is subjective. Do it how you want to, and the fingerprint will be all over your work. It'll be all over the world. My core values are caring, creativity, service, dedication, and encouragement. And I want that fingerprint on everything I do. Whether it's a photograph, whether I'm teaching you, whether I'm standing in my studio talking to a camera, that's what I want to do in the world, and I want it to show through in all the interactions I have and in the final photograph I do as a way to make this my career. Okay, so that is what I want you to go away with. Photograph is not what's there, it's what you want to see, and then more importantly, it's what you want to feel. So go out there, feel your photographs, share them. We have a Facebook group. I would love for you to share them in there. I'd love you to tell me the backstory. I want to hear the backstory on why you took that picture, why you thought that 1/1000th of a second in your life is when you touch the shutter button. Okay? All right, I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you in the next one. If you like this video, you're for sure gonna like that one. And as always, I wish you many woofs, purrs, and TREATSs.